Hello, welcome back. This is part 2 of my intro to fingerstyle guitar, and this will be discussing my own personal style when it comes to jazz and my arrangements for solo guitar. So this will be totally different than part 1, but if you're curious about my approach to the fundamentals of fingerpicking, you can check out part 1. I'll link it up there. So as I mentioned in that video, I've gotten a number of emails and messages looking for advice on fingerstyle jazz. And to be honest, the way I developed it was just by having a solid foundation in basic fingerpicking and then being inspired by numerous great players who use their fingers. Guys like Joe Pass, Lenny Breau, Ted Green, people I've talked about a lot in previous videos. Another guy I've mentioned is Jody Fisher. He's a really nice, solo guitarist. Uses his fingers quite a bit. Gene Bertoncini, absolute master. Plays nylon string fingerstyle, kind of mixes classical technique with jazz. He's really great. And John Stowell is another guy. I had him as a teacher at a summer program one time, and he's a very, very beautiful guitar player and has a really nice touch on the guitar. He uses fingers and pick, but I got a lot out of spending some time with him. So the list could go on and on, but the point is just to find players who you can learn from, just like anything else. And once you see how they execute tunes, and you can get the sound in your ear, you'll start to work it into your own playing. So you might want to try some transcribing. I always recommend that. It's a great way to learn. And one transcription I did early on was Joe Pass's White Christmas. I think I did that one in my first year of college, and I actually recorded that a couple years ago and posted it to my channel, so you can check that out. But yeah, I got a lot out of that transcription. I really got into his playing, borrowed a whole lot of little things that he does. And another song I learned early on was Turning Point, which is a song by Jody Fisher, and it sounds a little something like this. Now, I don't know if I actually play it the same exact way he does, but it was just kind of more of a general, stylistic thing that I wanted to get. And anyway, very nice, pleasant song to play, fingerstyle. So those, I did a handful of songs like that, just trying to figure them out on my own and, work them into my own playing. So I do recommend trying to transcribe, but, if you're not up for that, you can just look for arrangements already written out, either in books or individual sheet music that you can buy, or if anybody happens to have something, you can take a look at it. Now, if you're not quite ready to jump into some Joe Pass, that's okay. Just start off simple. Play some familiar tunes with your fingers. Just ditch the pick for a little while. So you can play the melody alone. Try the chords alone, which playing the chords, plucking the chords with your fingers is actually a good comping technique, so you might just want to get used to that anyway. But take like Autumn Leaves, for example, play the melody. Nothing fancy, just getting used to plucking, try the chords. And then when you're ready, you can try to put the two together. And, just think of it as chords and melody at the same time. But that, will be down the road once you're confident enough in both parts. Another one that's good for this is All the Things You Are. Very simple melody. Just getting used to feeling the string on the fingers. You know, getting used to feeling these chords being plucked, developing that control. If that gets to be too easy, then try some more challenging tunes, like maybe a Charlie Parker head or something like that. Try it with your fingers, you know. Etc. Just give it a go. See what happens. Try to push yourself. And anyway, between this and transcribing, you're going to be on the right path. So getting used to playing jazz tunes with your fingers will be a great start. If you want some extra work, you can try some of these. Bach sonatas for solo violin. Now, I am not classically trained by any means. A lot of people ask about that, but I never studied classical guitar in depth. But I used to play these quite a bit many years ago. For one, it is really great hand work. Really builds the chops, both in the left hand and the right hand. And two, it was just great practice sight reading. You know, there's so much music in here. It was really, you know, it was really tough to cover everything. But I'd pick a few pieces every now and then and just read through them. And you know, after I kind of learned most of them, or you know, got to the point where I wasn't really reading it anymore, I just put it away for a couple months and then pull it back out down the road and kind of start the process over again. So I'd say these days I could probably play about half of these. I'm sure the muscle memory would still be there. The other half I'm sure I could still read through, but I haven't played these in quite a while. I've just been working on other things. But anyway, as I mentioned, these are great chops builders, and I used to play these mostly fingerstyle. Every now and then I'd use a pick for some of the tougher ones, but I'd play as much as I could fingerstyle. And here's one I started off with, and this is one that I usually give to students if they're looking to get into this type of thing. There you go. And all of these pieces have variations. So that was the slower movement. Here's a quicker movement with some nice lines. All right, so that's still there. I haven't played that in a couple of years, but so that one I might use a pick, but it's certainly doable fingerstyle. And if you're looking to practice lines fingerstyle, there you go. You know, that's just one page of this book, and there's so much material in here. You know, it'll keep you busy for a while. Now there are guitar arrangements of these pieces, and I do have them, but I actually just prefer the violin music. For one, I'm just used to reading, you know, the pieces in these keys, and two, as I mentioned, I don't really study classical guitar, at least not to the extent that I sit down and, you know, I can learn these types of arrangements. The guitar music is a little more specific, and a lot of the parts are intended to be played a certain way. You know, it often uses open strings. The violin music is a little more flexible, and I'm pretty much fretting everything, so I can play some of these parts in different areas if I feel like changing it up. I hope this was helpful to anybody looking to get acquainted with a slightly more advanced method of fingerstyle guitar. And I have to say, it's tough to cram a decade's worth of practice and experience into one or two videos, but these are honestly the steps I took to get to where I am today. So if you have any thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.